Hello guys. NANS pronounces NANS. It is pronounced NANS, National Association of Nigerian Students. What will we call the one that is happening with NANS right now? Is it nonsense or nonsense? I'm going to be able to speak on this one because I had been a part of this body in my younger years, more than 30 years ago, as a delegate from my own institution, as a student union executive from my own school chapter, to the NANS conference for that year. And also, I'm able to understand a little of the politics of NANS. But right now, it looks that the politics is not politics.
Even if they want to come up, they don't have any backup to authenticate their claim. Because you cannot claim what you are not. Yes. Who handed over the government to you? From whom to whom? It's just like if Atiku Abubakar said he is the president of Nigeria, people will ask him in which of the election, who is your predecessor? That is the critical questions Nigerians will ask. But as the case of NANS, the same thing happened in NANS, where Comrade Usman Barambu, who served as the lone president without no fashion anywhere, handed over the government to Comrade Pedro Chibuzo-Obi, under whom I serve as the Senate president. And Pedro Chibuzo-Obi declared convention open here in Abuja, duly supervised by all security agencies, DSS and police, and everybody were there. And in that convention, Comrade Atiku Abubakar emerged as the president. And somebody go to somewhere else and declare himself as president. Someone who didn't even participate in that convention, in that genuine, legitimate convention.
To you. You know him?
No, yes, that's why I'm telling you. I didn't know him in NANS before.
Yes.
I only know him when he started us this impersonation.
Okay.
I don't know. I've not even heard about him in NANS.
So you spoke to a division that happened after Barambu, finished his tenure. You said that Lucky was the one who I can't remember the surname now. What's the surname?
Monefe.
Monefe was the one who was elected.
We won there, yes.
But he wasn't inaugurated.
He was inaugurated.
But
Barambu refused to attend the inauguration.
Were you aware that any other faction was inaugurated?
Yeah, I didn't know when they did their inauguration. What I'm aware of then was there's a kangaroo election in Abura Hotel.
Okay.
Yes, that they said they elected a new president in Abura Hotel.
Okay.
After declaration of Comrade Lucky.
So Comrade Lucky is the one who is handing over to you now?
Yes, he handed over to me yesterday.
Okay.
And the program was live on NTA yesterday.
Welcome to If You Ask Jimmy. If you are here to subscribe to this channel, please kindly go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Click the like button and also the notification bell. YouTube says like 70 to 75% of my watchers and have not yet subscribed. Please help me add your subscription and let's take this channel further. Someone came to the public and said, Seyi Tinubu tried to bribe me with 100 million, then had me abducted, beaten, stripped naked, and this person claims to be a NANS president. And it's catching fire online. A lot of people are just making mincemeat and comment. It's in public domain. People are talking about it. I should also be asking, what is Seyi Tinubu's business with National Association of Nigerian Students? I should also be asking, what is NANS doing? All factions of this NANS, they are involved with politicians. What are they doing with politicians? Is this NANS? NANS of those days. NANS of the people that did Ali Must Go in the late 70s, that paid with their lives. NANS of Comrade Deola Soetan. If you see Deola Soetan's eyes, he's just a revo, he's just an activist, but Those are guys that won't compromise. They don't take nonsense. Military era. Guys like Larry Arugundade, guys like Omoyele Sowore, up to date, you can see the energy, you can see the vibrancy of Omoyele Sowore. And the same way they won't compromise then when they had nothing, they won't still compromise now. NANS of Comrade Bamidele Aturu, those were our sets. I was a very young person, so don't compare my age with people like Aturu, like Arugundade, like Shoetan, Revo, Ojomo, Sylvester Odion. Where are NANS of the days of Segun Mayegun and many others like that? Why am I saying this? I look at the face. Okay, there's another person who is calling himself the NANS Senate, a former Senate president of NANS, different names. And there's still another, person, NANS president, Shola Ladoja. I look at all these people and I wonder, is this NANS, are they member of NANS or grandfathers of NANS or uncles of people that are supposed to be in NANS? Many leaders, as you see them, na different then they animal in human skin, animal they put to tayo, animal they wear agbada, animal they put to suto. Many leaders, as you Mr. of no nation, Egbekegbe na bad society. Mr. of no nation, oh Egbekegbe, pam pam pam. Beast of no nation. That's United Nations. No, Fela sang about it. Maybe sometimes in the 80s. Or should be. These so-called NANS, because people are, it's sensational. Seyi Tinubu abducted me. Look at the face of this guy. Go and check what the back and forth, the gbasgbos, because a lot of things, I just don't like this Seyi Tinubu's involvement in the whole thing. And somebody should just tell Seyi Tinubu to please stay clear of this student body. I don't know, maybe NANS is going, when they are doing auction, they will say going, gone, like auction, banjo. If NANS wants to, they want to self-immolate, let them do. But the kind of, a lot of issues are thrown up here. I've not even gotten to the point. Look at the faces of this guy. Look at that Shola guy. Eventually, I heard that the master's students are also allowed to be members of NANS. And I don't get exactly is it the same NANS? Is it still the same aims and objective that the National Association of Nigerian Students was aimed to achieve then? Is it still the aim now? Because right from the time that the politicians returned, they have used student bodies in different campuses. People finger some politicians. We have had people come out. There was a guy in Osun State who was a court leader right from school, and he ended up, being, a run boy for politicians. And, they have their hand in glove with some of these cult and underg guys. If you ask the Unilag people, especially like Shoetan and Shoetan, Sowore, and some other sets, they fought cultism headlong then at the expense of their own lives. This NANS now, this Seyi twist to it just messes it up, because you are hearing Shakarawo, you are hearing this politician, you are hearing this minister, seems like these boys have political patronage of some people in power, and it looks like they are ready tools in the hands of politicians. Different politicians now. Now, the other guy who said Seyi abducted him, you can see, obviously, someone brutalized this guy. But I'm not going to join the fray to say whether Seyi had a hand or not, because, I wish the security agencies have come out to say something about this. But these are so-called factions. Elections of NANS now are holding in hotels. That, you see, when you are looking at some of these stories, read behind the lines. First, Seyi should not even be in the picture. I understand, I don't know for a fact that you didn't study in Nigeria. You didn't even study in Nigeria. You are the son of, the who is who, the VVIPs. Leave NANS alone if at all you are involved. But I do not want to laser focus on Seyi Tinubu. I want to speak to these guys because if the wall does not crack, the lizard will not find ways to penetrate it. During our days as student union governments, even people like Chief MKO Abiola, he bought buses for some institutions. He built some buildings, libraries. He did a lot of philanthropy, and he did it towards students too. He even gave buses to to student bodies. But the student union will not compromise. Right now, this guy, why should somebody be abducted? Why should NANS election be held in an hotel, for crying out loud? Look, students are usually someone's dependents. Only a few students are working class students. What are students doing in a hotel for their election? I remember those days, the school where the NANS president comes from usually holds the delegate conference. And all the institutions, they will converge on that campus. I was at Ife, and I remember 1991 very clearly. That was the time of Comrade Shueton. People in public space can burst my bubble if this is not true. That was time of Comrade Shueton. Comrade Sylvester Odion Akaine, I can't pronounce your name very well, Sylvester, if you're hearing me. I think they said he's now a professor somewhere in the University of Benin, Ugbowo campus. That was how I knew Ugbowo. Delegate conference at Ugbowo. I remember that time was when there was a mishap in this poly, Auchi Poly. There was a bus, maybe a coastal bus, or I don't know the size, that, what is the English word now? It fell into water, and it has students of Auchi Poly in it. As the full set of all the NANS delegates that year, with almost all the institutions in Nigeria, we were going in a convoy from Uniben to Auchi to go and condole with our brothers and sisters, they are our co-students in Auchi then. I think that their bus fell off the bridge and they were thrown into money. This was military era of Ibrahim Babangida and Maka Igbe. Even the VP was from Benin, from Edo State that time. We were intercepted at New Benin and were taken to SSS headquarters this year. That was the student union. We were not holding our conference in hotels. Which hotel is even going to take the... Look, I remember at Ugbowo campus, we had our meeting till late in the night, in the evening, and we had to use the hostels of the Uniben people. The student union had worked it out. We didn't need to pay hotels. So who is funding these guys to pay hotels? Is it from the contribution? Is it from the, what do we call it now, annual fees or the levies of the students that you are getting money to pay for hotel? There is more to some of these stories. But now it is totally messed up, it's mixed up, it's convoluted. If Seyi Tinubu has a hand in this, he should stay clear of the student union politics. Because his father is strong enough and is tactical as a politician. He knows how to mobilize for election. Why I'm saying so, students are also citizens, but it should be by their free will to support and to vote for people they want to vote for. NANS was never involved, maybe because at that time we didn't have political parties in rallying support for any political candidate. The choice is, election is an electoral, is a franchise. It's, what do they call it now, sovereign whatever, of an individual. And the kind of mess up and mix up that the interplay of people and personalities like Seyi Tinubu being mentioned in this kind of thing is not going to augur well. But look at that article guy very well. Somebody is saying that, does this guy look like somebody they will give 100 million and he will say no? Anyway, maybe some people have principle. But how old is this guy? How long has he been in the university? I remember some of those days too, where we have people like, late Aturu. I don't want to talk about him. Some of them, they had to go and start all over again, but it was out of conviction because they were rusticated. I think it was somewhere before then, he had to go to Usua or something. There are activists that were rusticated based on principles they will never compromise. And they had to go to other institutions to start again. And some of them, they finished it, but they still became something in society. These guys we are looking at, both this fashion, what do they call it, Ladoja guy, I looked at him. I don't have to judge anybody. English is not most people's first language. The way he's even talking, people say this guy is speaking like a politician. And this is supposed to be NANS president. Someone said if this is NANS president, Nigeria is finished. NANS is almost finished. The only thing that I'm seeing now is I believe that people like Showore will be bleeding inside them. Showore will be bleeding right now. Showore will be bleeding. Because I remember he said publicly that even people like when they stood to fight for Abiola, he tried to offer them something. They said no. They did whatever they did, fighting for the masses on principle. Now, someone actually brutalized that guy. Now we know there's a faction. They say they are not factionalized, but there is a faction of the Fashola guy who happens to be pro-establishment, who happens to be pro-Seyi, because I like the way Maokwe interviewed the guy. He put him on the spot because initially he said he didn't know the Abubakar Atiku guy. And later he said, oh, they met before. Oh, he sent him a text. Oh, he has supported him in a way or the other. Oh, the guy has pledged allegiance to him before. And then they are hearing this and that. So, double speak. My concern is that don't praise either the guy that was allegedly because they have not showed us the source, but now they are fingering somebody to have mobilized people to do that. Look, this is how bad it can get. And you say the youth of today, they are what? They are the leaders of tomorrow. People like Melaye, Dino, he was a student, somebody. There's an advisor, I don't know whether on student affairs right now, to the president. He was also a student, In fact, there's a guy, I've forgotten what they call his name, Ashegbon or something like that. When I saw that guy some years ago, I shrinked. I was under 20 when I joined my local chapter of the student, and by the time I was in delegate conference, I was still under 20 years old. We have people in their early 20s, mid 20s. There was nobody in the 30, 40s now. This guy, these guys now are they are real full-blown politicians. They are not embryo politicians. Real full. I don't know whether these politicians just pick some people that that have the youthful energy, told them to go back to school and take over the organs of the student union body. I don't understand. Because what is the antecedent? What are the antecedents of these guys that are calling themselves student union leaders? It's I don't know. It is complicated. It is complicated because right now this is just like exactly what you are seeing APC, PDP, and Labour and the SDP and all their shenanigans. They are calling politicians' name. Can you see they are calling politicians' name? So you know that the water hyacinth or leaf that is dancing on the surface of the water, the drummer is under the water. Why? To gain control, to be able to influence the masses of the Nigerian students. But I know Nigerian students are not fools. Nobody can take the students, they can force them to do things. They can't force them to do things, and I don't know whether people can be induced because there's a lot of poverty in the land. It's so sad. It's so sad. It is so sad. Student unions are established and run. They are established for protecting the welfare of the students. And let me tell you, beyond the students, apart from tuition fees, apart from the local welfare in their schools, their voices are strong or even stronger than the NLC sometimes. Because students have a different kind of mindset. and they can shake the whole place. And government used to fear student union. There's governments that cause their local, the states, government or federal, they usually ban student union because they understand the vibrancy and they know they can turn the place upside down. And suddenly the people that should be, I mean, what have you heard that NANS have done? That is, most of these protests that are being called by people like Showore, those are things that NANS should be in the forefront of, because they are the ones that are feeling it. They are in school. They are feeling it more. You see, my conclusion on this matter for now, because I don't usually like to take sides. All this abducted. This guy, yeah, he brought his face out in the public. He was brutalized. But nobody should be, this president's son should just stay clear, steer clear. You can mobilize people. You have every politician has a right to appeal to people, but do not have any hand in the official running of what should be the voice of the masses for the nation. It doesn't work that way. And I don't understand how shameless some politicians are right now. That, okay, what is remaining of NANS? Where is the credibility? Will NANS come out and now tell one government to do something and people will take them serious? Or they should just stop all this nonsense. Ashigbon, what is this guy's name? Ladoja, Atiku, Abubakar is not the vice president. That's the name of this other president. And, these guys should just stop all these shenanigans and give that student body, some respect. I'll be back on this matter. I'm watching as it evolves, because sometimes someone will lie, this other person will lie, but along the line, the truth will be unveiled. But the president's son should stay clear of this. Thank you for watching. If you are yet to subscribe, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Please like this video, and the conversation continues. Thanks, and bye.